Hey Libras, welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you guys doing? Long time no see. I am back. Welcome. So for those of you that are brand new that doesn't understand what that means is I had a knee replacement surgery, so I've been gone for a little bit, and I've got some beautiful, beautiful notes and comments from my viewers, and I appreciate it very, very much. While I'm still healing, I might squirm a little bit because I've got this little walker over here. I'm like in an old granny's walker. Can you believe that? That's not going to last, let me tell you. So let's get started. Libras, this is for the 22nd through the 28th. So I apologize if I missed any of your readings. Hopefully we can get all caught up and get going now. I haven't looked at the astrology. So for those of you that are new, I do intuitive tarot, which is the divine coming through, or anybody on the other side that is coming through with wisdom, ancient wisdom or wisdom, and then also astrology and numerology. So it's really important to mix the planets' energies together because we're all one anyway. So and they does sort of tell us what we can sort of predict in the patterns of our past into our future with the way the planets move. So this is why I mix that and numerology together. So it's a little different. However, I do pull from the divine first and foremost. So sometimes my reading are full of cards, and then sometimes they're not as much, depending on what divine's message is for the day. All right, so let's get started. So for those of you that are brand new, just so you know, the first oracle is for the divine, the message that he wants to send through. Second one is for the current energies of the week between the 22nd and the 28th. Woo, we're almost at the end of March, guys. And then the third card is for the future energies for the week to come, or possibly more. The energies that I'm feeling right now are these energies are going to actually be for 2-3 months. So, and then at the very end, I'll pull some oracles for the planets and see where that is going. All right. Wow. I cannot believe. Oh, really? Oh, this is rare. This is interesting. Okay. Ooh. Somebody's got some revenge or something going on, or some anger issues going on here. We'll see who that is here in a minute. So the first energy out. Okay, so the wind fairy is our first energy out. Okay, and that being said, that wind energy, that wind fairy is about thoughts, words, intellectual analysis, almost sort of like a Virgo energy of how you're going to be looking at things, analyzing things, getting deep into yourself. Seems to be the current energy for a lot of signs this week, is to get deep into yourself and your thought process, which would make sense because I get what he's trying to say, because a lot of the times the cat came up, which is very about independence and the words that we speak. Sometimes we need to hone our tongue in and not say things, maybe think before we speak, because it does say thoughts then words. It doesn't say words then thoughts. So we really do have to think about what we say, how we act, what we're going to act in that manner. And that is also the number 2. So it's 29, but 29 equals 2 in numerology, which means it's bringing something together. It's bringing either a unity, a partnership, or it's breaking something apart. Now, if we're talking about divine, usually it is about bringing things together. If we're talking about lower vibrational energies, sometimes taking apart. However, the divine is having you intellectually think and process how and what is going to be in your life this week and why it's there. What's the foundation for it being there? Thank you. I didn't even know that. Thank you. Appreciate that. The Earth Fairy is about physical health, grounding, and foundation. What did I say? It's about the foundation. What is it that you're thinking? Why is that person there? Why is that habit there? I will tell you right now, most bad habits come from some trauma, some PTSD, some low self-worth, some low self-esteem, something that brought a low vibration, and it's still there, and that's why it is still there. The foundation of it is way back from when we were little. So we have to go back to that little child and say, hey, it's okay. You don't need to, eat out of comfort, and a lot of people who are overweight is a lot of due to comfort food and stress eating or psychological eating, and that too can be stopped and hindered once you figure out why you're doing what you're doing and heal that part that you're doing. Then we can actually move forward from that. All right. So we're looking at the grounding and the foundation, and we're analyzing this. That's this whole week. Okay. So, okay, sorry, I'm doing leather work today too, because I'm trying to do two things at once because I'm so far behind on everything. All right. So, and then the future energy, this is where you really need to analyze and find out where your foundation is. I'm going to tell you right now, you really need to find out because somebody, oh, and the Earth Fairy is about the number 9, intense. So this is a really intense time about thinking where your foundation is, where everything is, and actually grow from that. And then the other thing is that we need to figure out why we're so angry. So this is their future. Somebody's angry. Somebody's acknowledging that they have a lot of anger in them. There's jealousy there, which jealousy is an insecurity. So why are you insecure? What are you insecure about? Because insecurity comes from not self-love. Insecurity is saying that somebody has something that you want and that you can't have it. And you get jealous and angry and bitter and revengeful, and you want to go sting somebody for stealing your guy or your girl, kind of thing. No, something happened in yourself that actually possibly could have caused that person to walk away. It could have been them and their reasons to walk away. Could be so many elements to that. But when you have jealousy, anger, retaliation, these are extremely low vibrations. It's like the snake low, vibration, serpent low. And you really need to ask your questions. Where is that coming in? Again, we're going back to the foundation, guys, to where this anger was started and why did it start? And really, how do I get rid of it? How do I reverse it? And you can do that. You really can. It's amazing when you actually do release that energy, how much more energy you have within yourself. All right. So the first card out is the 9 of Pentacles, and the second card out is the Page of Wands, which I'm going to expect to see either a Page of Wands, Ace of Wands, because we are in with the planets a planting time where we've been through the month of March, getting our soil ready, getting our garden ready, making sure that there's no weeds in it, making sure that the fence is up, making sure to keep the animals out, to keep toxicity out. We're also making sure that there's enough nutrients. Maybe we have to add something to the soil. This is the time. This is also for us in our heart. This is heart and mind. So when you're looking at a plant, because we got the spring equinox starting tomorrow. Today's the 20th, so that's starting tomorrow. And this is the time where then we begin to plant the seed. So we have to see what kind of soil did we plant the seed on. Did we plant it on healthy soil? Did we, where it's nice and rich and flourishing, where you're going to put it in the ground and it's going to stay there and grow? Did you plant it so that it's right on top of the soil where something can come and pick it and take it away like a bird? Or did you actually plant it in a really mushy, watery soil where it can sink and drown? Now, there's different ways. So this is where this new seed is, of how we're planting. And there is a harvest. So at the end of spring, like I said, I think this energy is about 3 months. So at the end of the spring, this is where your harvest is. And when you look at a plant, because remember, we look at summer, we think of, okay, we plant something in early April, then we might be starting to see the fruit and the rewards in maybe late June, maybe early July. Like if you plant zucchinis or tomatoes or things like that, then the harvest begins to happen. How rich do you want that harvest to be? What are you putting into that garden? Now, and I'm using this hypothetically for us, because you can actually have that fence around that garden, but if there's a hole in the fence and you allow weeds to come in, you allow people to come in, you allow toxic things to come in, you allow bad habits to come in, you allow poor thoughts to come in, low self-esteem thoughts to come in, then you begin to wither that plant to die. Okay, this is a new, fresh energy. So again, this foundation that we're talking about, and the divine is talking about, is your soil and your plants, your thoughts, your heart. I just had this big discussion with somebody who's they've been in spiritual, they're just totally in their head. But the thing is, they believe they're in their spirit, because if you really think your thought process starts from your head, you're a little bit off, because that's not where your process starts. Because if you sit there and think about, okay, intuition, where does intuition start? Does it start in your head? Okay, where does that little voice that tells you don't do that? Where does that start? Does that start in your head? No, it really doesn't. It starts in your heart. That's where your intuition lies. That's where spirit lies. So if somebody thinks that they're going to get into their head first, that's more earthbound, more earth-based. So you really have to be careful where your foundation is. You have to think from the spirit first. You know what's right. You know what's wrong. You know what you should be doing. You know what you shouldn't be doing. That's just built into you. That's spirit. That is, and that intuition is built into you. It's not a thought process. You don't have to think about it. You just know it. It's like sort of my clairvoyance. You just know it. I don't know where it comes from. It doesn't come from the head. It comes from somewhere else. So anyway, we had that discussion, and it became, I don't get heated, but it's like he got all heated. It's like, well, I've taught prophets. Well, I'm good. You teach prophets. You're a human being. I don't know how you teach prophets. The divine should be teaching prophets, not you. But anyway. Third card out is justice. Okay, so we've got some paper, we've got something that needs to be fixed, something needs to be rectified, something that needs to, something that has created an anger for somebody. There is probably, I'm going to see the 7 of Swords probably come up here. But this here is in the center of the spread. So with this in the center of the spread, this means that there is something that could be hindering the foundation from becoming a strong foundation. So we have the King of Cups, the Sun, and Strength. So right next to the Justice, so we have something new. So something new is coming up. However, we've got Justice in the center, and then we have the King of Cups, which is where there's a little bit of a struggle. There's a little bit of a wave. Something is going to create a problem. However, somebody's recreating their foundation. Somebody is actually saying, okay, I am going to right this wrong. I am going to fix this. I'm going to make it right. And from this point forward, that's going to change things. It will be really internally hard at first, but when you do it, you're actually building a strong foundation, because then you have the Sun. There is release. There's happiness. There's joy. There's like, now I can expose myself and be who I am again, because I'm redoing things the right way. And the right way is by truth and love, because a lot of people say, well, what is the right way? The right way is just if you're walking in truth and love, that's the right way. But it does take strength. It is going to take strength. I don't know who that's for. Now, remember, too, and we're at the end of March, and this is also a time of your physical health, taking care of your physical health. Again, your mental health. These two cards, the Wind Fairy and the Earth Fairy, are going, the Divine's card and this week's card are going side by side. They are working together. You cannot separate them. You cannot separate them, because this is about rebuilding your foundation. This is rebuilding your thought process. This is rebuilding your words. Hone it in. Hold that tongue, because that tongue, again, is the number 2. We got the number 2 here, and the number 2, you're going to either split and divide, or you're going to bring together. You don't want to divide. If you need to divide, it has to be on your choice, not by words. I unfortunately had to separate from a person a week and a half ago because they couldn't hold their tongue. They get angry, they would hold their tongue, and they couldn't hold their tongue, and then they would call me a name or say something, and I'm like, no, you don't do that to me. Don't do that. You have one more time. You do that to me, I'm out. I'm out, because that is extremely damaging. It's extremely destructive, and you don't do that. Yes, it takes strength in order to say that, but you know what? That's self-love as well, and you're rebuilding a foundation. Now, if you're having this problem with somebody that can't hold their tongue and they get mad and they say things and then they come back and say, "Oh, I'm sorry," and they do it again, "Oh, I'm sorry," and I do it again, they don't give a shit. They don't care. They just know that they're going to get away with it. So you need to set that net foundation and that standard, and make sure that you are physically taking care of yourself mentally. And because as soon as you allow that in, you mentally are taking it in, but it also reacts you physically, chemically inside. It gets you angry. And then you get all this future energy of the wasp, like, you know what? Why did you say that to me? Why did you know? Because they have the issue of not being able to hone their tongue. Remember, the tongue's like a sword. It's got two sides to it. Like a sword, it is a sword. You can either cut or bring people together. So, and did I reach out back to that person? No, I didn't. Will I? No, I won't. Because they know that what they've done is wrong. They just choose not to want to correct it, because there's then healing in that process, and they don't want to heal. They rather keep living their life dysfunctionally, and I will not allow that dysfunction in my life. So this is for you, for somebody out there who is having this. You have to intellectually analyze that. But I'll tell you right now, when you nip that in the bud, or whoever that is, you're going to nip in the bud, you are going to release. You're going to get rid of the issue, because it's creating an emotional struggle, and it also is not good for the relationship. You're going to have a full release. You see that he's completely naked on there, because now you can say, you know what? I finally said what I needed to say, and I feel strong and healthy about it. That is a healthy, strong boundary that you're growing and you're building. All right. That's a strong and healthy boundary that you're building. Again, this is all about your healthy boundaries, your thoughts, your words. This is a time to analyze, not only for yourself, bring it in, ask yourself, okay, should I say it? Should I not say it? And here's the thing, thank you. So they're saying, if you cannot say it in love, then don't say it. If you cannot say it in love, then don't say it. That's what they're saying. So the thing is, if it's not going to be in love, then there's no purpose in saying it. And if you don't think that they're going to understand it, they're not at that level, then maybe it's time to wait to say something. All right? Because if I were to talk to somebody who just had some awakenings, they just started hearing, and I said, oh yeah, you're going to be getting to this level and do this and do that, and you're going to notice this and that, and they're like, what? Because they don't understand. They're not that far in that awakening yet. Does that make sense? Or if I teach you nutrition and I start going off with all the chemical formulas of a protein, then you're gonna like, what? All I wanted to know was, what does protein do? You know, so you got to be careful in what you do. Yes, I knew that was coming. So we have the Hermit. We have the High Priestess. Again, this is going to be all spiritual, definitely. This is the Knight of Pentacles, and then we have the Judgment. Okay, now we got justice and judgment. Now, this is justice and judgment from an earth-based thought process, or is it from a spiritual-based thought process? We really have to think. Because remember, I said I thought that maybe I would see the Seven of Swords, but I saw the Hermit. Because again, the Hermit is about intellectual analysis. This is the Divine's card. Intellectual analysis. Pay attention to everything around you, but focus in on what you need to be doing. So, because the Hermit and the Divine and the High Priestess, where's the Hierophant, are all working together. This is a spiritual growth time. And it is about the planets too. The planets in the whole month of March is all about spiritual growth. It's about a spiritual awakening. It's about getting spiritually, a little bit more spiritual closeness. It's like moving to that next baby level, baby step kind of a thing. So, so yeah, so this is for somebody here. There is something coming, and this is, so there's something coming towards somebody that you're going to have a decision. Okay, thank you. So you're going to have a decision in how you handle something. I don't know if this is for the same energy or a different energy. However, this energy is you're going to have to make a decision on how to handle something, and that decision is going to have either a really good outcome or it's going to have a really bad outcome. And the reason why I'm saying that is because our first card out is the fruits, is the rewards. That's what you want to work towards. But then your future energy is the wasps. So you're going to be really, really mindful. You really need to pay attention to what this is that you're needing to make a decision about. Step back, think about it before you quickly say something. And you know, and it's even if you were even asked to get married, you know, you don't have to immediately say yes to, I want to say yes, but let me think about this for a minute, because that's a lifetime commitment. Although these days I don't know anymore if it's a lifetime commitment, even though it's supposed to be. A lot of people don't make it a lifetime commitment, but in my age, in my boomer age, it is a lifetime commitment. Some people just don't want to think that way, but it is a decision that you're going to, and it's going to take strength to make this decision. It's not going to be an easy decision. I don't know what this is for somebody, but this is going to really solidify a new foundation for you. If you really think about this and you really decide on which way you're going to go, it's going to solidify a new foundation for you, which is good. Because this new foundation would be more spiritually based. Because if you're more spiritually based, the anger goes away, the jealousy goes away, and any retaliation that you have melts. Just like Olaf in the summer. It will melt. All right. And you want it to melt. You don't want that anger. You don't want that jealousy. You don't want that animosity. You don't want that envy. You don't, because your path and your journey is not another person's. So your rewards and benefits, when those vegetables finally get to the end and bloom, and they're awesome and they're so tasty, they're so fruitful, but are you going to let that foundation grow and nourish with good nutrients, or are you going to let that foundation and that plant grow with poison, with toxicity, with low self-esteem, no self-love, and then we grow up and then we have a withered plant that is grown with retaliation and jealousy and that kind of a thing. So this is a big choice, because it's going to turn one way or the other, and you're going to, if you really, really listen to yourself, take the time to make this decision and this answer. I don't know who this is for, but it's definitely needs to be a spiritual one. If you don't do the spiritual way, then you probably will have a lot of animosity and jealousy, because you picked the wrong choice, because you're thinking with your head, not your heart. All right. You're thinking more earth-based. Yes. Yes. This is definitely about the heart. We have the Empress. This is a nurturing time. This is a growth time. This is a loving time. This is a time to really take the time for you. Take a minute, smell the roses, smell the coffee, but you got to take time. This is why, like, I'm so excited. I finally got 2 camping dates this year. I had to get them in January. I can't believe this. In Oregon, everything is now reservations. And if you're not right on it in January, you'll never get to go camping in these places, because they're all booked up. The state has taken and moved everything to a booking system, and it's like there's so many people in Oregon now. You used to be able to go camping and there'd be people, still empty spots all over the place. Now it's like going camping in a city. I hate it. That's why I want a property of my own. But the thing is, the Empress is about love and nurturing, and you have to do that for yourself. You have to go outside and smell the air. Take it slow. This is what the planets are talking about as well for March and April. Slow down. And if you don't slow down, Divine will slow it down for you. And let me tell you, I'd rather slow it down than him, because his slow down, I have a knee replacement right now, and I should have taken care of it earlier, but I didn't. So he's like, I'll put you down then, to make you slow down. So those kind of things. 3 of Cups, this is a celebration time. This is, again, whatever decision you make it a good one. Make it a flourishing one. Make it a blossoming one. Make it a, the most beautiful trees. When I lived in Japan during this time, the cherry blossoms. Oh, my Lord Jesus. They're so beautiful. When I lived in Japan, you could walk down certain streets and it'd be just cherry blossom, cherry blossom, cherry blossom. The energies coming off of those trees are phenomenal. But this is a time of celebration. This is a time of taking the energies in and getting this foundation and growing. This is a time to grow. Your seed is going to be planted. Now let it sprout up. Let it sprout up. Then we have the Knight of Wands. Knight of Wands. Again, more new energies, more seed planting, more healthy things coming, more communication. So this is going to take communication. The Knight of Wands is about communication, and he's coming in. So this is really something that you're not going to be able to avoid. I don't know who this is for, but this communication or whatever this decision is that you're going to have to make, you know what? You're just going to have to make it. And you're going to have to stick with it. It's sort of when I had to make a decision, long story short, many years ago, and I didn't know about criminal justice. That's why I went into criminal justice, not only because my brother was murdered, but also too for other reasons. But the thing is that I made a choice to make a plea for something, and I should have learned and educated myself and stood back before I made a decision, because that affected me for many, many years. I didn't think it was going to, and then who was I angry at? I was angry at everybody else, but in all reality, I was angry at me for making a decision, a poor choice, knowing in my heart I should have not done that, but I wasn't living in spirit like I am now. But I did, and it changed my life around. All right. So let's go to the planets here, guys. Oh, wow. So we're going to go to the planets. This is for the future energies for the week. Let's hopefully not say that that's full of anger, retaliation, and jealousy, but we're going to say this is more for the weekend. And the planets. The planets are definitely saying slow down. Planets right now are saying take care of your health. The planets are also saying that you need to release and let go. Wow, same cards as before. Wow, this is interesting. So we have the encouragement, which is 9. We have follow the leader, which is 4. And we have the dragon's laird, which is the number 1 or 10. So definitely you're going to need encouragement to, now here's the thing. Okay, thank you. In this decision that you're having to make, I don't know if it's going to be this weekend or in this future week. However, really take the time now to follow the leader. Who is your leader? Is it earth? Is it man? Are you paying attention to man? Or are you paying attention to spirit and divine and energies? Because the answer is going to come out different. If you're going to do spirit, if you're going to follow the leader in spirit, you're going to come out with this. If you're going to follow the earth, you're going to come out with this. Because earth, then you don't want to heal. You don't want to heal. Because you are going to have to look deep. The dragon's lair, you're going to have to look deep. All right. Whew. What a reading. And it's perfect timing because my leg is on fire, guys. Woo-wee. I'm telling you, this has been a real hard week. They just started my PT for this. Give me some time here. But I'm trying to do 2 readings a day. I'm trying to try to do 3 today because I am behind. So just remember, I don't have any announcements. I'm going to try to do a full moon reading, but I'm not sure if I'll get there. I haven't been able to study my astrology chart to see what's going on yet, but I will try to do that this weekend. But please don't forget to like any YouTube creators videos, even just to like them for a second. Boop, pop that like, because that really means a lot for us YouTube creators, for the YouTube, however they do their analysis, to bring the videos out more. Shares are a lot, like for you guys to share with your friends, and it helps us, but also to the subscribes. And then if you hit the notifications, you'll know I'm on live. But mainly these likes are really, really important. A lot of people don't realize that, how important they really, really are. So don't forget to like and subscribe and share with your friends. Now, if this doesn't resonate with you, but you're like, this sounds like so-and-so, share this with them. share this with them so that they can make the wise and intellectual choice and think before they do through spirit rather than through earth, because this is going to make a night and day outcome for them. All right. So I hope you guys have a really, really good week, and we will see you on the 29th. I think I'm going to be doing end of the month or beginning of the month. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do that. So we'll see. But I will see you again on the 29th, and I'm going to go take a pain pill. I am dying here. All right. Take care. Thank you. It's good to see you guys again.